So today we're going to talk about my voice and what it once was.
Hey everybody, this is Johan Bester from Charisma Performing Arts and welcome to Vocal Activation 101. I'm going to introduce you to my most fundamental, basic starting point that I use and that I want you to use when you are getting ready to sing. So the first thing we have to do is just get some increased blood flow to the vocal folds, right? To this area here. Remember George and Susie behind the larynx? They are muscles. And if I've not been using them in a very activated and energized way, and all of a sudden I want to sing, then it's not going to go so well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start with a sigh, right? Because we want that free flow, no effort connection. So what I want you to do is just listen once, and then I just want you to sigh with me. We're just going to sigh on a ha vowel like this. Ha. So I start in a very comfortable middle range. I don't try to start very high, and then I go as low as I can. So why don't you do that with me? Breathe and flow. Ready? Ha. Again. Ha. So do about 3 of those. One more time. Ha. So relaxing, so good. Then next up, we're also going to do a sigh on a nasal consonant. So there are 3, and I like because the released jaw, the shape and the released jaw position of the really helps to relax everything. It's just really a focused sound. So it'll sound like this. Try that with me. Ready, go. And I'm even going to wiggle my shoulders and tilt my head a little bit. I want to make sure that there's no tension here. So it looks like this. One more time. So notice every time I'm starting in a very comfortable pitch position, like a middle range, and then going to as low as I can. And then finally, what I would like you to try is the ultimate activation sound, which is lip bubbles, right? Or lip trills, horse lips. So yeah, all you have to do is lift your cheeks, either with 2 hands, like that, or with 1 hand. I'm going to use 1 hand because I need the other one. So I'm going to sigh on lip bubbles, and it sounds like this. Again. One more time, just let it flow. I'm just going to do those 3 different sounds just on a comfortable sigh, just a pitch drop from middle to low. That's my starting point. Then, if you've been watching The Voice Matters, you'll know the next thing we do is what I call a dud. Dud is short for down, up, down in pitch, right? So I'm going to do a down pitch just like a sigh. Then I'm going to do a stretch of the vocal folds to go up higher to a higher pitch. And then I'm going to come down again. And it sounds like this. First on an R. One more time, right? So drop to as low as you can, and then stretch further than where you started in pitch. You have to listen. Stretch as far as is comfortable. Remember, comfort is your friend. And then go as low as you can again. Why don't you try that with me? Ready? Breathe. Yeah, it feels so good, right? So Let's take a breath and do that one more time. Go. Nice. That's a dud. Down and up and down. Then we do the same on the NG, just like we did with the sigh. So try the with me. Remember, the nose is where the air is coming. Now we're going to try the nasal sound, like we did before. The nose is the thing with the two arms in it. Gosh. Now we're also going to do the dud on the right, the nasal sound. Remember, release your jaw. Looks like this. Really released jaw, and the air is traveling through my nose. So let's try that. Ready, go. This time I'm going to do the shoulders and the head so that I can relax, because sometimes when we concentrate so hard, like thought process, on what we should be doing, we can actually get quite stiff and tense here, and we don't want that. So I'm going to do it like this. I know. Again, make sure nobody's watching. But it's so fun, eh? So let's do that one more time. Ready? Finish as low as you can. And then finally, we want to do a dud on lip trills. Same thing. Remember, what the vocal folds do is exactly the same, regardless of what my shape is, where my tongue is, and how open I am. Okay? So we're just giving the vocal folds a stretch and relax, stretch and relax. So on the bubbles, ready? One more time. Last one. Give it a good stretch. So I go as high as is comfortable. Very important. Remember, my high and your high is not the same. Okay? So this is an example for you to practice along with, but then you need to go and do it on your own so that you can listen to your voice and feel what is my lowest that I can do and where does it feel comfortable in the high. Right, so after we did some free slides like that, first the sigh, just a drop in pitch, then the dud, which includes a stretch, right? Just free, there's no rules, there's no organized sound in a certain way, right? Now we're going to move to organizing the sound a little bit more. That means we're going to listen to the volume and we're going to listen to the pitch. Okay, so what we're going to do is slide in octaves. You know what that means? From an A to the next A, or a C to the next C. I'm going to play along and show you how that works and what it sounds like in a minute. But we're going to slide in octaves. Two very important things that you must listen for. Number one, don't change the volume. But why, Johan? I hear you ask. I'm glad you asked, because it's very important that we override our default setting. Our default setting is that high notes should be louder and low notes should be softer. That is nature, because remember, when the vocal folds are stretched, they can handle a lot of airflow, so they can take it. They want to be loud when they are stretched. That's what they want to do. And when they are very short and floppy and thicker, the muscles, they cannot and they don't want a lot of airflow, which is volume. But what I want to do is set my volume at like a 6 out of 10, my airflow, and stick to that throughout my whole slide. Right, so I don't want to do this. No, I want to control it so that later on in my songs, in my repertoire, I can choose. Right, so here we go. We're going to start on, I normally start on the B flat, below middle C for the unchanged voices and the ladies, and the B flat below middle C for the guys. Right, and then I'm just going to slide on an R. Remember, put a little H in front of it, so it's not ah, but ha. Listen once. Ha. with me. Good inhale. Keep the volume consistent. Listen to it. Now we're going to switch to the Ready, and I'm still comfortable, so I'm going. I'm keeping it so relaxed. I go back down. What about bubbles? Yeah, ready, and okay, so I went to where it was nice and comfortable for me in the high. Now I'm going to keep going back down in semitones, but I can also do these slides on the lip bubbles. So let's do that. Ready, and good breath, inhale. One more time. And another one. Keep the volume the same. One more time. And let's go back to the NG and one more of those and notice my shape doesn't change. This stays the same. How low can you go? Ha and ha. One more for the brave. And in that last one, I always use up all my breath. So that's it. Sighing, duds, and then sliding in an organized way from one pitch to an octave higher and back. Little step higher, da, da, da. Take your time in the slide. The benefit is in the stretch. So don't go, ah, ha, ha. No. Ah. Really slowly through the octave. Like you're singing every little pitch in between, every semitone, and even the tones in between the semitones. Really slowly stretch that thing and back. Important. Always go back down again. Once you've reached the high point where you feel, okay, this is still comfortable, but the next one's going to feel uncomfortable, then always start coming back to the lowest that you can comfortably go, because we want the muscles to finish in a super, super comfortable place. So if you did that, if you did sighs on ha, and brrr, and then you did duds on all three of those sounds, and you then slide in octaves, do a whole set of ha's and a whole set of and a whole set of brrrs. That whole routine will take you 10, 12 minutes. I promise you this. After that 10 or 12 minutes of comfortable sliding and just stretching and making sure everything's relaxed, you are ready to tackle your repertoire, to tackle your song. So that's Vocal Activation 101. I want you to try this for the next week. If you do it every day, you will be absolutely astonished after a week what it feels like, what your awareness is like, and even how the quality of your sound improved. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, hit the like button, click the buckle, like we say here at Charisma Performing Arts, and please send this link to someone who you know will also benefit. This is Johan Bester saying thanks for watching, and remember, your voice matters.